All right, so we're here today to talk about what is going to be the next big manga, and we also have an actual manga creator here, TR Comics, here to talk to us. TJ, we got him here, ready to go, talk about his manga as well, and then we're gonna get into some adaptations. And we also have our guy Azid. Y'all know and love him. Back here again today. Shout out to him for being here. But yeah, man, let's get into it. So, what will the next big manga be? What do we think?
In my opinion,
Okay, in
Go
your
for it.
opinion, but if you think of that as too much of a topic or question for you to answer, because
I got
I already know
three.
that there are more than a handful of manga that people are already looking forward to seeing being adapted into an anime. Name us your top 5 manga, the ones that you're most excited about, the ones that you've enjoyed the most, whether they're recent or just overall popular that you wish had a adaptation.
Bet. I got you. All right. Number one, DanDaDan. Yukinobu Tatsu is a great artist. Worked with the creator of Chainsaw Man. And DanDaDan's getting an anime in like 2 weeks. So that's number one, right?
You know who would love you already, right? Just from your answer right now. You know who'd love you? Our co-host Cardiac,
Who?
because he
Oh
loves
my god.
DanDaDan, and every time he mentions that, like there was one pod where he said the name like maybe 5, 10, 15 times,
20.
20, maybe 20
It's good,
times.
man.
I kind
It's
of want to go
good.
back and like see how many times he said it because he was really pushing that agenda. But I ended up giving him shit. But go ahead, tell us.
It's so good. Yeah, no, bro. I mean, I don't blame him. It's so good because like just the story and the art, and then like the connection with the characters. I'm not gonna say too much about it. I'm just gonna give you that. But just know that it's just as crazy, if not more crazy, than Chainsaw Man. Honestly, and more random.
Hmm.
Um, when the anime
It's
comes out, it's
is
gonna
it
blow
is
up.
it action packed romance? We're talking here.
Very action packed action comedy with some very heavy emotional moments. There is a good balance of that because like I was reading, like literally after you get past like the first, I think it's like the first 7 chapters, you learn something about one of the villains in the series, and it's like, oh, that's why this character's like this. So I
Oh,
that's
okay.
it's got its comedy stuff in there. It's got its action, but it's also got its heavy moments. Um, Another manga that I think is going to be the next big one. This one doesn't have an anime yet. It's still only like 50 chapters long right now, but it's
That might be the next.
Kagurabachi.
Yeah.
Kagurabachi, bro. Just imagine like Bleach and Naruto if they had a baby, right?
That's a, hey,
And
I like
then
what you're going already.
yeah, and then the throw like the certain elements of Demon Slayer. I hate Demon Slayer, but the good parts of Demon
Okay.
Slayer, like with the effects and stuff. Imagine that, but their powers that you see in the manga, they're not just for a visual enhancement. They're actually like stuff that the characters do. Right?
Oh, okay. Oh, I see
It's
what you're
really
saying.
really
Yeah, yeah.
good.
Do you mind if I
Yeah,
add on to that real quick?
yeah. Go
I know
ahead.
it's
Go
not.
for
I
it.
know it's not my turn. I know it's not my turn. But the second you said Kagurabachi, I just had to join in for a second because the lore behind that manga series becoming like as popular as it is right now is just so funny to me. Because it started off as a meme at first.
Yeah,
Like people was memeing it because it was like this is outselling Boruto, and then it went from like 2 months of just straight memes, and it went to like the top 10 manga of like all time and like multiple manga sites to like now it could actually be the next big thing.
bro.
It's like
Yeah.
because what is it? I think there was even an article that the mangaka himself was so surprised that Westerners love this series so much because it was like almost destined to fail in Japan. And
Yeah.
so
Huh.
it just started exploding after like chapter 2.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
I love that.
so would you say that the manga itself started off as something sarcastic and then ended up being the very thing that carried it?
Like
Yeah.
for
Oh, do
for
you remember?
context, like
Yeah.
so you know what the Shonen Jump axe is, right?
Yeah.
So but for those who
Go ahead.
so yeah, look, I'll explain it to you, right? So the Shonen Jump axes, they'll have like an influx of new manga creators, right? And they have like these mangas that they put at the front of the page. It's the new next hit manga, right? Like what was that one manga that didn't last like even a year? Phantom Seer. That was
Yeah, I've heard
supposed to
of
be
that
one
one.
of the
Yeah.
next big mangas, right? Canceled in a month.
Damn, a month is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
And that
play. They don't
happens
play.
every month. They have a new manga series every month, and they see the numbers and the popularity polls. If it doesn't make the popularity polls to get the numbers that the executives, the big wigs up at Shonen Jump or Shueisha want, axe done.
Damn.
Kagurabachi was supposed to be one of those. Yeah.
Bro, rip to
What was it?
anybody that like starts off like liking the series that comes out and then just like you find out the very next day, oh yeah, they canceled your series. Like that fucking blow. Holy shit. The bigwigs up there are fucking crazy.
Yeah. They're
It
insane
is-
and they're very detached, man. Like
Yeah, that's what it
it's
sounds like.
crazy.
Sounds like I mean, I don't know if y'all seen Moneyball. That's not an anime, the movie, but like it just sounds like dude is ready to just cut people and there you go, bye. Next.
If you're not making money, you out.
You ain't making money, you out. You don't got the votes, you're done.
Yeah.
It is funny because I still remember when Kagurabachi came out, and I haven't read it myself, but just seeing the fact that like the constant memes coming out from it, like the fact like you said that actually carried it to that next level is just crazy to see. Like the fact that like that can kind of be what can almost carry a manga in this day and age because like it's so cutthroat. Like sometimes it just needs something different, like really do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah, Shonen Jump Axe is scary, man. It's scary because you never know what's gonna happen. You could literally be at work one day and they're like, "Hey, yeah, pack up all your shit. You're done. we got a new person coming in."
Hey,
You know what I mean?
talking about, yo, I'm gonna need you to clock out.
I'm gonna need you
Literally.
to clock out for me.
Crazy.
I'm gonna give you my last two because these are the only other ones I can really think of. Well, last three. Mashle. I already know Mashle's gonna blow up. It was destined to blow up from conception. It's One Punch Man, Harry Potter, Black Clover. Literally,
Yeah,
it's insane.
yeah. People love One Punch Man. I love One Punch Man. I've yet to meet anyone who doesn't. Well, there's
There's a few people who don't like it.
there's a few people.
Few
but
unfortunate
they don't.
souls.
Yeah, because they don't like the overpowerness, but also like the sarcasm, like how you were saying for Kagurabachi, is what was carrying it. And then they started getting into like the more serious notes. Yeah. So I mean, I like it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, Mashle, self-explanatory. Sakamoto Days, gonna be the next big one.
I heard a
People
lot about that
talking about
one.
Sakamoto Days. So good. It's what Way of the House Husband was supposed to be, if you remember that anime.
That's the one
Yeah.
that I put you on with.
yeah, no, I liked it though. I did like that one.
Yeah.
I liked it too, man. But Sakamoto Days just blew it out the water.
But what
And
I'm
then-
excited though.
The final one, and this one is kind of a hot take, all right? Because it's not made by a Japanese person. It's made by a black man. Okay.
Ooh.
And it went into obscurity for like 2 years. Now everybody's starting to talk about it this year. Dog Ningen. It's gone.
Oh!
Yeah.
Say the name again. What was it?
Bro, it's
Dog Ningen. But it went by a different name, but
Yeah.
because it got so popular, he had to change the word, you know what, to
Yeah.
Ningen.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yo,
No,
that's
I know-
crazy. Hey,
I used to
shout
talk- I
out
used
to
talk
him.
About that show. I used to talk about that manga with people at work, bro. Because the first
No way.
chapter alone is crazy. I gotta find my dad, and I'm like, bro, it's crazy.
Yo.
It's crazy to read.
If y'all know what he was trying to do, y'all would know what he was trying to do.
Oh, yeah, I can't say that. I
Pops.
can't say that for the video. I cannot say it for the video.
Because you know what? When you said the name of it right away, I was just like, that really similar to. And then you explained what happened, that he had to change the name. I'm like,
That one. That
so it was
Well,
intentional.
yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So that's funny.
the story is crazy,
Yeah.
right? Like we're talking like literally DanDaDan Chainsaw Man levels worth of crazy, right?
Damn.
But like Americanized. It's probably worse actually.
So yeah, worse.
It's worse actually.
It's-
Yeah.
to me, I see
Right.
it as redo a Hiller, but done right.
Yeah.
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 Redo a Hiller, but done right. American edition.
Okay. So your 5, just to go over again. Or go if you can name them for me, because I only remember the last.
So, DanDaDan, Kagurabachi, Mashle, Sakamoto Days, Dog Ningen.
Okay. Now what about the dog manga? Like what is like taking it back into the mainstream?
Just people. Well, we're going into an age where more people are reading manga, right?
Okay.
Which, obviously, when people are getting more into reading manga and watching anime, and then the anime in turn will make people read the manga, right? I feel like that is why, because people are looking up, oh, what's an obscure thing that I can read? Chainsaw Man Part 2 has only been out for a little while, but so now that people got to wait on those chapters. What's something equally as crazy I can read? DanDaDan's only 163 chapters, so if you're caught up on DanDaDan, what else you gonna read? Dog what? Oh, I'm gonna read that.
So did any story elements change, or just still kind of like the same thing as it was before, but it's just more people are finding it out now?
Oh, it's the same thing as it
Okay,
was before.
all right.
I love that. We love consistency.
Facts.
We love
Facts.
consistency. Oh yeah.
Equal amount of craze.
Hey, that's valid.
The arc names, I'm not going to say the arc names out loud because there's one specific arc, and I know you know what I'm talking about. We're going to call it the trench coat guy arc to keep it friendly. Yeah, that's an actual arc.
I mean, you can say it if you're comfortable saying it. We know.
It's I'm worried about you.
I think I know what you're saying.
I feel like I know what it is too.
But it's fine though. If it's what I think it is, it's okay.
Let's just say this. Let's say this. Hold on. So, I work in a school. Should I be concerned?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, that's good enough. That's good enough. If the people didn't get it now,
2 + 2 is 4.
if the people didn't get it now, that's on them at that point, huh?
Yeah, that's just.
Oh my god,
man.
bro.
All right. Then I guess we will ask Azid next. What are you thinking? What came to your mind?
Got you.
I know you have similar ones, right?
Yeah.
So
TR definitely got me with that list. I ain't gonna lie. Like his list is similar with mine. I think I only changed 2.
I didn't go ahead. What'd you change?
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of Sakamoto Days, that's on there. Of course, Kagurabachi, just because like myself as a content creator, I did videos on it. I wanted it to come up. Like people, like if you go back to like the start of this year, it should not be successful. Like people were hating on it. So just to see like the progression of how it is now, and I think I read chapter 1, or I mean chapter 0, the prequel, where like all the abilities that happened in the prequel that they named also happened in later chapters, which I really like. So
that's fine.
I love that. I love that concept because the creator had like 8 other series before he made Kagurabachi, and he uses like some of the names of his other series that didn't take off because he was in multiple contests. For Kagurabachi, he just used those names as an attack ability. So I love that type of work. I'll definitely say the next 2 outside of like Dog. Dog. I ain't gonna say the name, but my next 2 is definitely. I feel like it won't be in Japan. One I feel like could potentially be in the US.
Huh?
Yeah, and this one is actually by these people named Slingshot. So these used to be content creators. So Slingshot basically used to be content creators who are now doing a whole bunch of different manga. Like all of these people came together. They stopped doing content to just focus on making their own American content studio called Slingshot. And it's 2 of them that I really think is going to blow up because they already talking works about like animation studios and big stuff.
Oh,
one of them is called Hussle, which is, to me, I believe is going to be the next My Hero Academia to a lot of people.
I like the title of that already. Gotcha. What I also do want to do is, I know how you mentioned that these next 2 are not Japan oriented. You said they were American oriented. I remember that you were talking about at DreamCon with O'Shea Jackson that you wanted to ask his opinion about the more how manga is becoming more diverse between the artists and scriptwriters, as to like now we have like you said in your video, we have Chinese, we have Japanese, we have American, we have what else is there starting to pick up? Korean. Like we're starting to get more and more people from around the world that are starting to write their piece on manga, like own kinds of stories with their own kinds of styles. And like one thing that I can think of is Daily Life of the Immortal King was a Chinese anime. I really like season 1. So things are starting to pick up around the world, and like you said, like more and more people are gonna be starting to get into anime. And like TR is saying, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I just hit it like a blank. I saw some crazy shit right now. I just hit it like a blank.
No, good. You were spitting though. You were spitting though.
Hey, this is.
Oh,
that's Hussle. Okay, we're looking at the artwork for Hussle. Yeah, that look.
I feel like the difference in art style too for something like that. I feel like expressing that in anime, I feel like will kind of separate itself, because like a lot of the Japanese manga, they have like similar styles in a way. So I feel like kind of having a different art style come from like people in the US, people from other countries kind of come in. I feel like that can kind of add even to differentiate. So
you like right now, you just reminded me of what you mean by art styles. Like I'm not sure if people know this, but there was actually a discovery that with Japanese anime and the art style of anime, characters' faces are based off of cats. The way that a cat's face is structured. So that's why when you see a lot of anime, and I'm sure you noticed it, that's why when you see a lot of anime characters, they have very cat-like facial structures, and I think you see it a lot in Haikyuu. You see it a lot in Haikyuu.
yeah.
I don't know what other anime there are, but I for sure, because it rang a bell, definitely with Haikyuu. What's his name? I'm bad with character names, but y'all know what I'm talking about, huh? He was he had like gray and white hair. He was one of the older players.
Oh, the dude, he's the other setter.
Actually, I don't know. But people who've seen Haikyuu will know what I'm talking about. Like,
We know what you're talking about. We know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? I know you say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah. Let me let you continue with your list. I know we kind of just went off a tangent there, but
oh no, it's y'all podcast. I'm chilling, bro.
I'm just letting you know, bro. I respect you as a person. You know?
Likewise. No, thank you. But not, I don't know what to say after you say as a person. But no, the reason why I look at Hussle and I think the newer stuff is gonna be in America is because Hussle is taking like the themes of that's kind of different, but kind of using some Japanese themes and using real life. Like it's more centered towards these people with powers, like My Hero, but they have gang violence. And what happens when you don't want to be a part of a gang by any chance? What happens if you just want to live? Yeah, what happens if you just want to live a normal life and be peaceful? That's say someplace in Chicago or anywhere in the United States, but you have something with like a deep-rooted amount of like gang violence, and you got to try to separate yourself from that, and then you just trying to live a normal high school life or a normal college life. So that's why I like Hussle, because it takes those concepts. I ain't gonna get too into it, but hey, the link is right there, little thing right here. But Hussle is a really good read. Got a couple of chapters, and a lot of content creators been coming together to make it even better. And the next one, there's two others that I'll say. One is a webtoon, and this other one is also by the same person in Slingshot. But the next one is ZeZeMaru. So I have a friend. It's also in there. So ZeZeMaru is
it's in webtoon
made by. No.
So the Slingshot?
It's on Slingshot still. Oh, okay. And basically, ZeZeMaru is made by a creator named Michael Madlock. He's actually a close friend. He basically like went from like doing Naruto facts on TikTok and stuff to being like, hey, I gotta settle down and make an own manga series. And his manga is like dedicated from a lot of like African culture while mixing in other worlds' culture as well. So I think that's like, what is it? So you know how like people get a Zenkai boost in like Dragon Ball Z? His is more dedicated towards like the planet itself, kind of like a metamorphosis and how people grow. And the concept of it is like, from what I have talked to him about, the concept of it it's not out yet, but when it releases, like day one, people around the world is already excited for it. Like there's people who are like did wish lists and all this stuff to read it already when chapter 1 released. And basically it's like, what would you do if you can get a wish, but only one person get a wish, right? It mixes all these different forms of media. But imagine a character in like gold, right? Imagine like your powers accentuated from like gold, and basically like gold itself is kind of like the flying nimbus that you can use. But imagine you have all these people with deformities, right? And he uses the deformities with these characters in a way that's like, would you wish for money or would you wish to like help those around you? And my friend Michael, he does a lot of other stuff that I can't get into because he talks about that with his own post. But definitely ZeZeMaru, because if you already got people worldwide looking at your series and chapter 1's not out yet, that's a big achievement to me. Like they actually, like in the University of Chicago or Illinois, I believe, they have an exhibit already dedicated to ZeZeMaru and it's not out. So I believe chapter 1, when it comes out, is gonna blow up guaranteed.
We'll probably also get the links for the recording that you're talking about too. We'll put that in.
Got you.
We want to give credit.
And the last one, got you.
He said
the last one is iffy because it's also a webtoon. This is very iffy. It is. I read it a long time ago.
Wait. Why is it iffy?
It's because you know how some people, they don't feel about webtoons, right? They look at webtoons and it's kind of like they don't put it in the same place as manga or magua. They're like, oh, webtoon, okay, it's on this site. I can read it whenever. It's gonna do whatever. But because My Hero's ending, and they kind of have done this whole that they doing what people wanted in My Hero, where like, you know, Deku like goes to the school and try to become number one hero, and then he's trying to exit the school, and you see the progression. They're doing that a little differently, where like they have season 1 only the school, season 2 we're outside of the school, and then season 3 is going to be the wrap up. I feel like it's going to blow up when season 3 comes out, and it's called Unordinary.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that.
Oh no, God! This man Ichiban about to walk away. Out of peakness, I think it's too peak for him.
Does he hate it? Does he like it? Does he hate it? Does he like it?
I think he likes it.
Okay.
Bro, Unordinary
This motherfucker's
is so
spitting.
I feel like the second they release season 3, it will blow up because right now we about to have a lack of superhero manga. Like we're about to have a big lack of superhero manga, and Unordinary is the one thing that's been progressing for like the last couple of years. That when that new season drop, I feel like everybody's gonna be like, "What is this? What is this? What is this?" I feel it. I feel it,
bro. You like I got goosebumps right now. I don't know how it escaped me. For Unordinary, bro, that is. I don't give a fuck if it's on Webtoons. I'm gonna piggyback off that shit right now. Unordinary, you need to go and read it. That shit is amazing. That shit is that's some hot shit right now.
It is one of the greatest superhero like stories is out there.
Bro, it's insane. Oh my! I'm glad you said that one.
I have to throw one in here. Now we're talking about Americans. Shouting out my homeboy. Actually, I'm gonna shout out 2 of my homeboys because one of them was my co-panelist, and another one I was trying to get on the panel, but he couldn't make it. Shout out to my homeboy Red F Manga, Golden Mist, Golden Peak.
Whoa!
Yes.
I read that, but look at Azid. He's like freaking out.
First couple of chapters.
This man jumping for joy.
Yo,
my bad. I had to mute myself.
This man, Red F Manga. I have known him since before he came up with Red Mist or Golden Mist, bro. Red Mist is from Kick Ass. Golden Mist, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
I was like, why do I know that name?
Yeah, it's still stuck in my brain after all these years. But dude, Golden Mist, bro. Like, I've read a couple of the chapters, bro. And like basically the synopsis is this kid who has to go back in time to save one of his relatives from being assassinated. And it gets powers and they have these scrolls with the powers in it. Bro, it's insane. It's so good. And I remember Red F Manga has been reading my manga for years, right? Since I dropped the first chapter. And I always told him, like, bro, I can't wait for you to drop your manga, blah, blah, blah. And then over the past year and a half, this nigga blew up. He blew up. You want to know how many readers he has on Manga Plus creator, 300,000. But yeah, bro, Golden Mist, great. Like, bro, and like I remember when I got back from DreamCon, I posted some of his videos on my story, and he messaged me and he was like, the creator of Core, Peak, and Darkness, shouting me out on Instagram, and I was like, me, I should be saying that to you. But he's a great guy, bro. I'm gonna send y'all his info, bro, and like y'all really gotta have him on the podcast. And also, can't talk about this without talking about my co-host, the man who has made things happen. He's the reason why this panel went the way that it did, why it was so good. Shout out to DR Marshall, one of the greatest people I've ever met. He has a manga out called Infinity Star, Volume 3 on the way for Infinity Star.
Just sounds amazing.
Yes, sir. We going side by side. I got my 3rd volume coming. He got his.
What's up with these fire names, bro? Y'all were cooking with these.
Bro, his story is so good, bro. So basically, his Infinity Star is about this kid named Robert Adam, right? Rob, right? He gets involved in this war between these aliens and celestial beings, and he gets in an accident and gets this gem that gives him lightning powers. So he has to basically fight against them and also learn to control his powers. And then there's other things that happen that I'm not. Like, he literally gets like a big ass gem in his hand, and he has like lightning powers. And then the gem, the more it fuses with him, it gets like it's like this black armor around his skin. Like, bro, it's crazy. Shit. It's so good. It's so
that kind of reminds me of Shield Hero and Steven Universe all in one.
I kind of get those vibes from it, and like the art style is really, really good. He's a very technical, like me, I'm a chaotic artist, right? Like, you'll read Core and like you'll look at some of the pages, you're like, man, that panel looks really good. I sketched it. I didn't even fully ink it. I sketched that panel, but I've been doing this for years, so I know how to like make it look how it's supposed to, right? DR is a very technical artist. He's very perfectionist, and that's why his art looks so good. The frames that this man gets, and like you see the evolution from his art style, bro, like it's so good. And like the personality that he has for his characters is great, but he also is a big fan of world building. I'm a big fan of character development. The world building in his manga is like really good.
Okay.
Yes, it's so good. So shout out to those two guys, man. Yeah, check them out.
Both sound fire.
They're really good.
Link in the description below. Once again.
And then I just feel like American manga. I know it was like a little sidetrack because it was like Japanese stuff at first. I just feel like the rise for like just manga in itself worldwide is just too high. Like, was it Japan? Because so Japan, like how I was saying earlier about Unordinary and also Kagurabachi and things of that nature, right? Japan opened up this past year, I think the end of 2023, Tenzatsu, and it's the 100th ceremony. And basically for the 100th ceremony, they usually only had it in Japan, but for the 100th, they said, let's go international. And they had people like all over the world try to just show out to see who can actually join in, like I think Shonen Jump or just the Tenzatsu panel itself contest. So they had everybody worldwide. If you think you can create your manga, go ahead and do it. So I think it's more like if they see potential to make more money, they don't care anymore where it's coming from, as long as they see these talented artists now.
And that's like one of 10 competitions they have every year. There's also the silent manga contest. Manga Plus Creator has a contest every month, and you get the publication. Like it's insane, bro. It has started with Americans making anime, because I mean Americans have been working with Japanese media since like the 60s. Yeah, I want to say. Yeah, because like that's when like you saw the rise of like American cartoons being animated by Japanese people. So like it's so good that that's becoming more prevalent. You know what I mean?
I know we all seen the Boondocks in Japanese edition, the Japanese Boondocks dub.
I love Boondocks.
If you haven't, you gotta look up the Japanese Boondocks dub, bro.
I love Boondocks.
Oh my god!
I make.
You made a couple references today of Boondocks.
I make too many references. Riley Freeman, man. Shout out to Riley Freeman.
Shout out to Riley Freeman.
Now, I may not have seen like or read as many manga as everyone else here, but I do want to mention like just a couple of things I had on my mind when I was thinking about this topic. I know the other day we were doing a pod and our other co-host TK, he had mentioned one called Witch Hat Atelier, which I haven't read, but from what he was basically kind of explaining, it kind of has a lot of fantasy elements to it, which leads me to kind of say like after like the rise of Freerun, and we've seen a lot of other fantasy series kind of starting to blossom in kind of this new era almost of fantasy, I guess. I feel like that can be something that sparks a lot of another it's like bigger manga to kind of come out as like this Freerun wave almost. I kind of want to say with Witch Hat Artillery that seems like it's popping off. It's about to have anime as well. Some kind of other fantasy manga that are going to be starting to do pretty well. I feel like that could be something. So that could kind of be a spark almost. I don't know what y'all think on that, but
so with manga, and I will say this because I had to learn this from White Manga. Shout out to White Manga. He was really great at DreamCon. I love Apple Black. I actually have a volume over there. Manga is a very shark infested water contest. You will see people come and you see people go. It could chew you up and spit you out, or you can become Aquaman and tame every fucking fish in the ocean, right? So
yeah, is it that competitive?
Like, yes.
It's just like voice acting.
Yeah.
Voice acting, movie auditions, all that. It's bro, you know how many manga creators that I've met? You want to know how many of them actually have workout? I can name them on like my hand, like both my hands together.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, okay. Now, what do you mean by actually have workout? Like, are you saying like some of them only have scripts written out and no artwork, or like what do you?
Like published? Is that what you mean?
Only, like, not even just publish, because like publishing, you can either go through a magazine or you can do it independently. And the best thing about a magazine is that you could publish each chapter individually. But then you have people who only put out like a webtoon, right? That's fine. What I mean is like they have the idea, they have concepts for the story, and they've been doing that for about 4 or 5 years. But there's nothing, like literally nothing, no artwork, no nothing, just out there. And there's some people who do have put out stuff and they just completely deleted it and just forgot about the whole thing and say they want to do this thing. Like I've done it, Red F Manga's done it, Infinity Star Manga has done it, but the difference is all three of us, we came back and we're like, this is the better version of what we actually wanted to do. Now look at these niggas, bro. Like, look at them. Panel for me and DR Marshall. Golden Mist.
Good job. And round of applause to you guys.
Shout out to the people who do that. Same thing with like because I've been following White Manga for like 8-some plus years, man. And I saw like the first concept, like, and then he told me the story of how him and Saturday AM became a thing, and like that man has worked hard, right? But they knew it. So at the time, it was still a very Japanese-dominated field, but they made it, right? And then you have somebody like Nicholas Draper Ivy. If you ever read Exogenesis, if you haven't, look him up. He's also worked on some American comics, like a lot of Batman comics, like a lot. But he's a manga creator. Nicholas Draper Ivy is like one of the best artists I've ever seen, and he made it happen, bro. He has a manga, he has figures, he has all this stuff. He has a career for himself, So it's like it's hard because it can make or break you for a lot of people, and that goes for the people in the Japanese side of the profession where they're from. The creator of Zatch Bell quit the company he was working for. Now Zatch Bell has a part 2 out. Zatch Bell part 2's been out for like 2 years now, where they're all grown up and stuff now.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
So, a lot of manga creators are going independent, man. Like but it's harder that way. It's harder
because you don't get as much like coverage and push for that. Yeah. I can see that. Like that almost reminds me of like how the music industry is. Like if you're not on Spotify, if you're not on Apple Music, you're trying to publish music for yourself. Where are you going to publish it aside from social media platforms? And how are you going to monetize that?
Even just having a label or not too.
Right. But even then, like creating your own label, like that takes money. And then like just finding investors, time, even putting like handling all that stuff yourself is it's difficult. And the moment that you stop to take a break, now you've fallen out of this motion.
Yeah.
And I can see
Cycle.
the same thing just happening with manga artists. Like you're only making as many waves as you can with the amount of word that you're spreading. If you stop, then okay, well,
And
no one's gonna do this for me.
And another thing too, which you were mentioning earlier, is like the fact that like even with like the manga magazines, like Shonen Jump for example, like how like it's so hard to stay in the magazine for a consistent amount of time. Like I feel like that would almost make you question, do I even want to put my manga in there? Because if it gets axed, I might be cooked. You know what I mean? So at that point, like I feel like that's another thing that you got to worry about too. Like, dang, that's crazy.
But if it gets axed,
I mean-
do you keep all the rights to that manga, or do they take that?
Oh, it belongs to the company for sure.
Yeah, so you're done.
Fuck that.
You think
Hell no.
Akira Toriyama owns Dragon Ball? Nah, Shueisha owns that.
Yeah.
He just gets a lot of seniority where he gets creative freedom over the property that brings them billions of dollars every year.
Yeah, so yeah,
You
because
know.
they trust him to make the right decisions because he was able to do that consistently. As just like the author of One Piece, like people are not so much respecting them, but it's like they're trusting them with that part of the industry that they don't need to be breathing down their necks anymore. But damn, like now you think about it, like the hurdles and hoops that they had to jump through in order to get to that position, that's fucking hard and respectable.
Yeah.
Damn, like,
Damn,
damn,
you're killing themselves, man.
Yeah.
fuck,
it
crazy.
was like,
that makes me hate the manga industry,
Hey man, it's bad.
like studios and all them. Damn.
And then think about the anime studios too. It ain't much better.
Yeah, the anime studios are
I already
probably worse,
know.
actually.
We already
it
know
was
about
like,
that.
what is it? I think it was like 4 or 5 mangaka. Like at the time, it was like I think Akira Toriyama, creator of Yu Yu Hakusho, like 3 more mangaka. They all like shared a 1-bedroom apartment. Like they were all in one. Like you can find like a video and also pictures.
Wow.
They were in a 1-bedroom apartment just sleeping together.
That's some legendary
writing down
pictures right
manga.
there. Hold on.
Now, mind you, at the time, all these dudes were married with children.
Yeah.
So they rarely get to see their families. And literally every time a manga creator from our generation, like from the 80s and 90s and stuff in the early 2000s, finish a manga, and now mind you, these people are all friends with each other and have been for years, even before some of them got into the studio.
You
Right?
fucking imagine why.
The first thing they do is they call each other and say, wow, so now you can finally take your dog on a walk. Wow, now you can finally make another baby. Wow, you can finally play video games that you've been wanting to play, that you made. Because they don't get to do that.
That's crazy. Content house for real. That's
Yeah, man. It's either you finish your manga and you live the rest of your life rich and spending time with your family, or you die before that can happen.
I
That's
have
the-
so
that's the
much
worst
more
case
respect.
scenario.
I have so much more respect for manga artists, even the undiscovered one, even attempting to take on. That's shout out to you guys.
Thanks. Ichiba, I don't know. Did you have any manga you want to touch on? Or was like really honestly the ones earlier? It seemed like it kind of was it for you at that point with Unordinary, but
Bro, Unordinary, y'all gotta check it out. That's like, I mean, oh okay. Well, did you want to get into? Actually, let me say this because I know Azid, you mentioned earlier on the phone call that you yourself were working on something. I don't know if you want to talk about that
Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah.
or if you wanted to.
Are
keep
you
that.
ready? TR ready? Do you want to go back? Because
I was like, you talking about me? Because I can talk
See-
about this all day.
TR was like, I got this.
I got a couple things I'm working on. You know what I'm saying?
If you want to go first, you can. Like,
Nah, man. You
hey,
know,
no, we know
okay.
we're gonna get into that.
Okay.
So
I've been yapping, bro. So
Yeah, I mean, we're 43 minutes in, and so I mean, Jay, if we want to
Okay.
finish off with y'all two's project
that's-
and what
that's
y'all
the
got in
point,
mind,
yeah.
like we can do that.
yeah, hey, as if you want,
Okay.
if you want to take us first, and then we'll get into TR stuff because we know he got a lot already. He's raring to go, but we excited to talk about it too. So. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as of right now, I kind of put it on hold a little bit. Like,
Okay.
I'm always thinking about it, and I still have like the Google documents all the way to, like chapter 10. But then every time I look back, I'm like, can I make this better? Can I not make this better? The point of my story I don't want.
So we got some
I have
10
copyrighted it.
chapters.
I want to say that I went into Google Doc and I just kept writing and I just kept writing different chapters. And then I brought some other people. My friend who's like the valedictorian in his high school. I was like, hey, bro, can you put this in your own words? If let's test this out, how would it sound to you? And so we like kind of came together. He wrote some stuff, then I rewrote everything else. So it's like it was a process. So when people say, oh yeah, I just create this manga, I can do it in a year, that takes years of dedication, time, studying, and also practice. Because the second, like a lot of mangaka, especially coming up and not coming up, I definitely say not only does it take patience and understanding others' work and how can you like take your own inspiration, but use it in a way that's not only creative enough, but also fresh enough to give like new perspective. Definitely takes a lot of focus and a lot of discipline. So when I actually like reread everything myself and I went back from like chapter 1, I wanted to do a prequel and then fully do number 1. So I did kind of like write the prequel out a little bit because I want to restart everything when I have enough time. So I've been focused more on like the YouTube and TikTok content, but right when I feel like I'm at a good place with either or, I want to go back and fully do my chapter 0 and publish it. But basically the concept of my manga is called Otaku's Life. So it's a little apostrophe S only because like there was another story in Japan that kind of was similar if you type up like Japanese characters. So I had to like somewhat change up my name. So it's Otaku's Life. And basically, and I copyright this. So anybody want to test me on this, I definitely love to get some money off you in court. So please, so go ahead. But basically, Otaku's Life is the American perspective of what it means to be an anime fan. So we always got how in Japan about like different point of views, and a lot of people are like really heavy when it comes to like the superheroes or it comes to the shonen or isekai power-ups. But I was like, what if I could create a slice of life in a way that dictates what it means, like the anime perspective from an American fan, right? Because it was during a rise of anime, and then 2022 is when I kind of like sat down every single day, was only doing it. So basically, I was like, since anime is rising, especially after like COVID, 2021, Attack on Titan was still big. I was like, what can I do that dictates what it means to be an American anime fan from Japanese audiences' perspective, where it still be cool, and also other Americans feel the experience as it's growing. Because I know a lot of, you know, the debates you've been hearing about, like, oh, some people got an anime because it became popular. Some people said I always grew up with it. Some people got bullied. I was wondering, how can I make a story that not only ties in the experience from my main character, Jacob, and I have artwork of Jacob on my computer, and so I have artwork and some other characters, but I wanted to find a way how I can write the story to where everybody, in some way, because you go disappoint somebody somehow, it's not on purpose. How can I lead into what it means for some people who probably did get bullied, and some people who are newer anime fans, and some people who was even probably embarrassed or didn't understand stuff from a certain point of view. Like I told you guys earlier, my dad didn't understand what anime and manga and all that stuff was.
Oh yeah, you were mentioning.
So I was like, what if I create a story that kind of puts all that into one and kind of ties that in with different elements? So that's kind of what the story was. So I call it Otaku's Life, because it's basically the American personification of anime fans in one story. So that's kind of what it is for me.
That sounds fire, actually.
So what genre would you put it in then? It sounds like a slice of life.
It is a slice of life. That's why I chose a slice of life. Like I have a notebook. I have like 20 other anime manga ideas.
Damn,
like one is like hit him up. In 2022, I was heavy into like I can see what the potential is. I really want to do this. So after I do Otaku's Life, I definitely have like one intergalactic story that's out there. Another one about like healing. Another one about like just Christianity. Like I had a whole bunch that I wanted to try, but going back and forth, like I was praying on it, and I was like, I had so many other ideas, and then I was driving to work one day, and what made me choose Otaku's Life out of anything, and I'm gonna go back to Otaku's Life. Like I'm gonna speak that words to existence. My word will not return to me void. I'm gonna go back to it the second I can. But I was just driving to work one day, and on my way to work, like I was praying before then, but on my way to work, the spirit had told me, it was like, this is what your story needs to be about. And at that exact moment, before I even drove to my job, I parked my car. Like the second I was able to, I wrote that down on my phone. I'm like, Otaku's Life. I think I can do this. So yeah, so it's a lot of stuff I want to change, especially like you guys spoke to me before and like off the pod, like I have a spiritual journey and stuff like that. I want to tie that more into it. And I feel like me learning more my own spirituality, I feel like I can tie that way better in my manga. And then just like culture settings and then different people that I like to add in, definitely feel like I can bring that more in. So that's basically what Otaku's life, different perspective. My character Jacob, just talk a little bit about him. He's biracial, like he's so he's a mix of black, so African American, as well as Latino. So I wanted to make him that. I'm not mixed.
Oh, yeah.
Just in case everybody's thinking,
Yeah.
I'm not mixed. I'm not. So because people be thinking that all the time. I'm not mixed. Both my parents black. So I just gotta put that out there. But I wanted to do that because I felt like if I can I wanted to see something from a different culture's perspective. So I was trying to learn more about Hispanic people, their cultures, their foods, and their customs, and then tie it into like what it is with Black culture. And then I do also have a somebody who's also of Asian descent. I wanted to have all these characters from different like cultures and ethnic groups, just to also like touch home with certain groups of people. So that's kind of why I did it in the way I did it too. But Jacob, he's just a lovable guy. He really loves like animation, artwork. He got into anime for very different reasons than what people would think. But I wanted to imagine my character Jacob. What if I had a best friend like him? Is he likable enough? Does he have enough flaws where like, yeah, you can see that he's got to work on this, but it doesn't make him too much of a bad individual. And so that's what I was thinking with my character. I was like, I want to make him likable, but also enough flaws where it's like, he's cool, but you wish he can improve on that. So that's kind of why.
Like something to give him room to kind of expand almost.
Yeah. So I know I'm talking you guys' ear off, but I haven't
great,
been able
to
tell a lot of people about Otaku's life for a hot minute. so it's just one of the series that I really want to put my all into. The second I know, like I get the YouTube stuff, like at least decently good enough, and I want to go right back into like going back into Otaku's life.
The second he releases this manga, we're gonna put the link in the description below.
Whenever it happens.
Yeah. Before we close down, we want to finish off with TR and his project that he's got going on right now. So
Also,
if you can, Mr. Sir, give us your
interpretation. All right then. Okay, so obviously volume 3 of Core is going to be dropping by the I'm predicting either the end of this year or the beginning of next year. So like January 30th, full volume 3 will be
so you like starting to get a little deep into it now.
Oh yeah. Just ended the first arc of my series. Yeah, so now chapter 25 starts the next arc.
That's sick.
Which is going to be great. It's going to be action-packed, introducing characters I've been waiting to introduce. So it's going to be great. I'm also going to be making a Kickstarter where I am going to have a talkathon. And if people don't know what a talkathon is, it's a three-volume special edition of manga. So you have 3 volumes worth of manga in one book.
Oh shit!
So I'm gonna be working on a Kickstarter for that. I got to come up with prizes and stuff and like rewards for stuff for people like donating to it or like subscribing to a tier for the Kickstarter. And then I'll be once that Kickstarter campaign is done, I'll be sending out prizes and stuff. Hopefully in the future I can make figures for all of my characters. I have a lot of characters in my manga already, so I have enough characters to make a figure roster. So, but that's gonna be way later. But anyways, I also have merch now. I have t-shirts, hoodies, and I also have phone cases. I just finished my store, so I have to order them so I can like show them off to people. But yeah, got that. And
you have a store,
going to be
a store website for all that stuff already?
Yeah, I'll send you my link tree, and you can just use that for everything.
Perfect. The link will be in the description below.
Below is just like 100 freaking links, like the whole description. Just
we'll obviously prioritize.
No, for sure.
Oh
for
damn!
sure.
I think your camera died again.
But yeah, there also last thing we'll be working on. I actually had this series published at the same time as Core, but I put it to the back burner, took it down. I had a website and everything for it, but I will give you the synopsis. It's going to be a Tokusatsu series, okay? There's no American Tokusatsu series except for like Knights of Lubethia, I think that's the name of it, and then Power Rangers, right? And VR
Okay.
Troopers. But VR Troopers is canceled. Power Rangers is about to get canceled because they're not going to make any more. Japan's the only one's going to keep making Super Sentai stuff, and VR Troopers hasn't been out since the 90s, right? But I've got a Tokusatsu series that I'm working on, and it's going to be great. That's all I'm going to say about it. Black guy in a Tokusatsu outfit made by another black guy. Why not? You know, super
Alright,
poses
shit.
and powers and costumes and monsters of the week. It's gonna be great with an overarching story.
Ooh,
I
hey,
know,
hey, the overarching story
have
might be
seen
that's gonna be the
We-
thing right there.
I am a big fan of Arch. That's right.
No, wait, TR, I have seen your stuff because I see one of your shorts. That's how I was like, wait, well, when you said Core Light and Darkness, I'm like, what? And then I seen one of your shorts on my feed one time.
And you blowing,
Yeah, 'cause-
damn, you blowing
No, 'cause
up for real.
No,
Look at
'cause
those.
I went back to the short and I went back to his YouTube and your T reacts like with a Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen one of your shorts.
Yeah, that's my YouTube channel. T Reacts on YouTube. It's all one word with a Z at the end instead of an S. I make commentary videos, and you can watch me get my ass beat at Elden Ring.
He's not a one trick pony. Does everything.
Man is jack of all trades.
Jack of all
A
trades.
creator's creator.
Yes.
Soon to be your favorite creator's creator. Possibly.
Ooh. See what you did there.
That shit was lamer than when you say real eyes.
Realize. Y'all know.
Hate this shit.
But yeah, man. So like, what what are your like? I don't know, because I don't want to like limit you too much. I know you got a lot to say. Like, what do you think we should like a top 3 or top 5? Like, what are your top 3? Let's do top.
Which you talking about manga?
No, his favorite things about his series.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Top 3 or
Oh,
5. You can
can
pick.
my series.
Yes.
All right, bro. Favorite things about my mangas? All right, we're going to get through 3. Character designs, action scenes,
Okay.
which also includes the artwork. So I guess we'll say artwork and / action scenes.
Okay.
And also perspective. And what I mean by perspective that also delves into action scenes, just the way that my brain works when it comes to drawing scenes is that got these tiny flying cameras. The dynamic angles
Ooh,
of
I
my
like
series
that.
is my favorite thing. I love it when there's a big impact and there's the shadows, and I use the cross hatching mixed with the shadows. Beautiful. And with
Damn.
the way my characters are designed, it works perfectly. Mwah.
This shit sounds
beautiful.
hard.
Yeah, man. Full page spreads. Oh, and my covers. So we'll make that
Okay.
number 3. So
Okay.
we'll just say
Okay.
character design, artwork, and just like the covers that I do. So it's all gonna delve into artwork, but those are like 3 subsidiaries of that one
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Because my covers, man, like it's one thing I love to do is like just sit there for like a whole day, make 4 different drafts for my covers, and be like, that one, boom, let's go. Right?
Okay, I like that.
Always matches the theme, bro. And I love the fact that people are actually like invested in my story, and people actually have favorite characters. Didn't know people had favorite characters until last year, and they're like, oh yeah, Sakurai is one of the villains in my series.
Okay.
Did not expect him to be as popular as he is. Sakurai, Eclipse, and Karuno, the main character of my series. Those are the 3 most popular characters. So
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna be looking out for them when I get the manga myself.
The coolest thing that you kind of said with the like rotating cameras, like how you phrase that, like that sounds so cool. Like to have your brain be able to work like that and like put that on the page, like that just sounds sick. Like honestly,
I don't know how like that type of style for like when I come up with like stories and artwork, like how I developed that. I think I was watching a lot of Kim Jong-gi videos. Rest in peace, Kim Jong-gi. Great Korean artist. He did phenomenal work. And he said that his brain works the same way. Because for me, it was just like, oh, I imagine my scenes animated. He was like, I do that, but it's just tiny knees floating around with cameras, and I freeze it,
Okay.
and I draw it. And I'm like, oh, that's why my brain does that. Okay, I know what my characters sound like. I know how they move. Every scene that you see in my manga, I have imagined it animated.
That
completely.
takes a lot of fucking like visualization and creativity.
That's I feel like that's what probably sets apart like some of the best. Like to me, that is like hearing that is like, okay, this is gonna be a hit. This is heat because like that is like just a different level. Like that's probably what all the biggest creators probably have is that different level of their series. They know everything. They have it down to such small details that like as a reader, when you're consuming it, it's just like a whole like world. Like everything is just like boom. It's just all there. It's like so like what's the word? I can't even think of it. I'm tripping.
I'm
I
sorry.
call
yeah.
it the Jack Kirby effect, right? And the reason why I say that,
Immersive is the word.
I was gonna
Immersive.
say what-
immersive.
I'm saying
That's what I was
golf,
thinking.
but I
Same thing.
But the Jack Kirby effect, for those who don't know who Jack Kirby is, he made the Fantastic Four, he did the Silver Surfer, he did he came up with the concept of Thanos and Galactus, like goated, right? One of the greats. This man was not allowed to drive because he was always imagining the next issue, the next
What?
scene created, how it would go, what the characters would do, what they would eat, all that. This man has hit like lamppost, and this is back in the 40s. Okay,
oh shit, we didn't have seatbelts.
automobile stuff wasn't
think.
around that long. The 40s, 50s, and 60s. Okay, Jack Kirby is, I think he's like Italian, or was Italian kid that would draw on the walls. So his brain's always been like that. Jack Kirby's mind was always in a constant state of motion. And even though he couldn't drive that well because of it, he always had something in his mind playing out, like a screenplay, like an old animation. And my brain does that sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'll be driving and I'll be listening to the same song on repeat, and I'll be like, "Oh, that'd be kind of cool if my character did that." Oh God, okay, never mind. Let me think about that later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I call it the Jack Kirby effect, because there's a lot of
Okay.
people like that. Todd McFarlane, Akira Toriyama, anybody who works on manga really, or almost anybody, I'm sure has that same brain functionality.
That's like being stuck that's like a category of daydreaming.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, but like being stuck in there, almost like you're falling in and out of.
World.
Yeah, exactly. You're falling in and out of in and out of.
Mhm.
But it's one that you created for yourself because it's a project you're working on it, and it blows me away too because like if you gotta respect the craft, you gotta remember some people cannot visualize themselves, and what I mean by this is not visualize themselves, but they can't visualize something they're thinking of themselves. What I mean by this is like, think of an apple. Now think of an apple sitting in your hand. Some people can visualize an apple, how red it is, yellow, green, with a stem, with a leaf, however your apple looks. You can see the apple in your hand. But there are some people that just can't do that. They know that the concept of an apple is there, but they can't see it in their mind.
Yeah.
Hello, Editor Cardiac here. Now you're probably wondering, why am I here? Well, we had some technical difficulties for the ending of the pod, which isn't much, it's about 10 minutes more, as well as the outro. So I'm here to thank everybody for watching this week's episode. I lastly want to give a shout out and a big thank you to Azid and TR Comics for coming on. Of course, we at The Flow here wish you an amazing future on the both of y'all's projects that y'all have coming on, and we hope that y'all like them and will support them in their endeavors. They'll be in the comment section below, as well as a card up above potentially, maybe. And just thank you for sharing your art with us and the world. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time. Flow out.